This is the Dinar Chronicle, and if you're holding Vietnamese Dong in anticipation of an exchange or simply looking to convert for international travel or investment purposes, today's report is absolutely critical. With the revaluation rumors heating up and banking activity shifting week by week across the United States, we've compiled the most current, confirmed, and realistic 2025 exchange locations for VND. Right now, not next month, not next quarter. This is real-time data as of this week. As of early July 2025, we are seeing heightened demand for VND exchanges across U.S. financial institutions. Some banks have reactivated currency desks that were previously dormant. Others have imposed restrictions, limited transactions, or are operating under stricter KYC protocols. The goal of this report is to cut through the speculation and bring you actionable intelligence on where you can actually walk in or schedule an appointment to exchange Vietnamese Dong legally and securely on American soil. Let's begin with what we know from Tier 1 national banks. Wells Fargo has officially resumed limited foreign currency services at select locations in California, Texas, Florida, and Illinois. According to an internal memo obtained by contacts within the community, the bank is now offering exchanges on a case-by-case basis for VND with a cap of $10,000 per customer per day, provided customers are registered with valid identification and banking history. Transactions over $5,000 may require a 48-hour waiting period depending on location and vault availability. Keep in mind that not all Wells Fargo branches have a currency desk, so calling ahead is not just advised. It's essential. And as of July 1st, the rate is still closely aligned with the international market rate, with no indicators of a revaluation premium at this time. Bank of America remains more conservative. Most of their currency exchange services for Vietnamese Dong are being processed exclusively through their online portal. However, certain wealth management branches in New York, Phoenix, and Charlotte are reportedly accommodating high-volume clients, those with existing Merrill or Preferred Rewards relationships, by appointment only. These exchanges are being done at locked-in daily rates published by BofA's internal foreign exchange desk. There have been unconfirmed reports of VND order delays due to increased demand, and some customers have been asked to sign additional IRS Form 8300 documentation when dealing in amounts above $10,000. This falls in line with Treasury monitoring standards and speaks to just how closely these transactions are being scrutinized in 2025. Chase Bank has emerged as the most consistent player in this space, offering direct VND exchanges in more than 30 major metro areas. According to sources familiar with their operations, Chase has designated select branches in cities like Denver, Miami, Seattle, and Atlanta as exchange-enabled. These locations have reportedly been given extended cash drawer limits for exotic currencies, including the Vietnamese Dong. Appointments are encouraged but not always required depending on volume. One branch manager we spoke with, who requested anonymity, said the bank had seen a 5-fold increase in VND requests in the past 60 days, mostly from retail holders looking to get in or get out ahead of expected market shifts. Chase is currently using the Federal Reserve's standard conversion rate, which hovers just under 0.000043 USD per VND, with a 1.5% fee structure on all non-customer transactions. For account holders, that fee is waived at most locations. U.S. Bank is selectively active. While they've not made a public announcement about expanding their currency services, multiple verified customer reports from Nevada, Ohio, and Missouri suggest that certain branches are handling small-volume VND exchanges, typically under $2,500, without appointment. These services are limited, highly localized, and vary from branch to branch. One point of caution: U.S. Bank may require longer lead times for delivery if they need to order the currency from a central vault. In most cases, there's a 72-hour turnaround, so if you're planning to liquidate larger holdings, this is not your fastest option, but it may be one of the most accessible for smaller exchanges. Regions Bank, primarily operating in the Southeast, is also quietly accepting VND for exchange at their currency-enabled locations. These include several branches in Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, and Mississippi. While Regions is not offering revaluation pricing, meaning they are not anticipating or adjusting for any potential rate surge, they are processing transactions with moderate efficiency. According to insiders, Daily exchange limits are currently capped at $3,000 equivalent, and identity verification is non-negotiable. All customers are required to present a valid photo ID, proof of address, and in some cases, tax ID for higher volume transactions. We're told that this is due to increased internal auditing from the bank's compliance team following rising VND interest. Outside the Tier 1 banks, several credit unions and regional institutions are stepping up as key players in 2025. Navy Federal Credit Union, the nation's largest credit union, is working with partnered FX vendors to support VND exchanges for its members. While NFCU doesn't directly stock Vietnamese Dong in its physical branches, it allows members to place online orders through affiliated platforms, usually with next business day delivery. Exchange rates through this process are slightly less favorable than institutional desk rates, but the ease of access and reliability of service have made it a preferred option for military and government personnel, especially those recently returned from Asia-Pacific postings. Additionally, Truist Bank has been reported to support limited VND exchanges at their main regional offices in North Carolina and Virginia. These services are not advertised online, but calls to several branches have confirmed exchange capabilities for account holders who schedule appointments. The rate structure is similar to Chase, and non-customer transactions may be subject to higher fees or declined altogether. This move appears to be part of Truist's broader pivot toward international client support, and it coincides with recent upgrades to their back-end currency processing systems. For those asking about non-bank options, there are several regulated currency exchange services now offering competitive rates across U.S. airports and financial centers. Travelex, still one of the largest names in the FX retail market, operates booths in over 20 major airports and some shopping malls. While Travelex does charge higher fees and tends to mark up exchange rates, they do provide quick and convenient access to both buy and sell Vietnamese Dong. However, we should note that Travelex limits cash transactions to $2,000 per person per day in many locations and reserves the right to request further documentation for any transaction that appears unusual or inconsistent with average tourist volume. Again, this aligns with post-AML reform compliance laws enacted by FinCEN in late 2024. Online platforms remain a strong option, especially for those seeking discretion and convenience. Sites like OFX, Wise, formerly TransferWise, and Currency Exchange International now support VND transactions via bank transfer or delivery. OFX in particular has emerged as a trusted resource for large volume exchanges over $10,000, often offering more competitive rates than traditional banks. Their online portal allows for locked-in rates with same-day or next-day transfers, depending on verification. However, users must undergo full KYC procedures and, in some cases, submit documentation regarding the source of funds. This is in response to increased regulatory pressure following 2025's international banking audits. Another increasingly popular option is WorldRemit, which, while originally designed for remittance services, has added foreign currency purchase options in select states. They've built out an API partnership with U.S. banks to facilitate mid-market rate exchanges with low fees,